How many was not in my previous class that I just did? Well, we got several. Because we talked about, some of you that was in there, we talked about a lot of this in my other class. Now, I knew that I was going to get into it in this class. I got to chew up my peppermint before I get started. Y'all, hold on while I chew this peppermint. They had them sitting out there. You can't pass the peppermint, y'all. All right. If you get peppermint on you, I'll just spit some of it out. I apologize to people who get close to me. I do spit a lot when I'm talking. So you get a shower. Children's ministry on a shoestring budget. Well, I got to get this chewed up before I start. I'm really professional. I see myself being videoed over there. I feel like somebody's always got their eye on me over there. Children's ministry on a shoestring budget. My first question is how many came here? How many came here today? I'm talking in the natural. How many came here today starving, hungry? You're hungry?
I'm hungry. Like this morning or this class?
Oh,
well, you're a growing teenager. My point is, we're all blessed.
That's right.
We're very blessed. And one of the problems, one of the problems with Sunday school, bus ministry, kids ministry, is that we feel like, and some of us come from, some of you are in new church projects, you're in home missions work, you're working in areas that funding is not provided for Sunday school and kids ministry. Well, we have a somewhat, in the eyes of some, very, very small, but in the eyes of some, it's somewhat of a larger bus ministry. We bus in around 200 kids, a little over sometimes. We have several church kids, so we've got a lot of kids. And so that puts us in a bracket to where we can't do for 250 what we could do for 25. And I've said this 2 or 3 times today, there's no millionaires in our church. We're just average, hard-working people. So, without causing the church tons of stress, without bothering the pastor every Sunday, I have preached it and people have gotten it. To take the load off of the church and do a lot of these things on your own. And you're missing out on some of the greatest blessings by not being involved financially in your church, in your children's ministry, in your bus ministry. You're talking about being blessed. You start getting involved in the work of God and the things of God, you're going to be blessed beyond measure. And so there's little things that you can do yourself you will be such a blessing to the church. You'll be a blessing to the individual that's on the receiving end, and God's going to bless you abundantly. I'm living proof of investing weekly into the kingdom of God and seeing the blessings. Some of you come from churches that don't have financing. You don't have the financing to do big events, to do big giveaways. But I've come to tell you, you can still have a popping Sunday school, children's ministry, bus ministry without that financing. And there's little things that you can do. One of my focuses has been, and this is kind of going to be my theme in this class today, and I've said it throughout the classes, throughout the day-to-day at different points, but make little things big. Make little things big. You may not be able to go buy an Xbox 360 and 5 bicycles to give away. But if you give away a $20 bill, man, you promote that $20 bill giveaway like it was an Xbox 360. You make if you can get pamphlets and flyers made up, make them up. Money giveaway. Don't put on there it's $20. People's going to come and they'll be happy if they win. Put money giveaway. Free food, free candy, free this, free that. and just capitalize. And you know what? You're not out hundreds of dollars, and you're promoting your Sunday school department and the things in your Sunday school department. We have, and like I said, there were several of you here that wasn't in my prior class, so I'll be echoing some of the stuff that I said throughout the day. But I do, in the summertime, I do free popsicles every Sunday. And at home, I can buy these popsicles, 100 of them. They're unfrozen. They haven't been frozen. Y'all seen them. They're in the little, you squeeze them and they kind of shoot out the top or whatever. And there's those ones, yeah, what they call Otter Pops? Okay, Otter Pop. Okay, I can't even remember what they call them. I buy them all the time. I just go grab them. They're the kind that the plastic's cheap. They'll just get all over you. You know, the plastic are real. But you can buy 100 of those. They're over there. Do y'all have? I'm sure there's Walmarts in California.
Yeah,
okay.
all over the place.
All right. You can go to. I'm just not even familiar with the state of California, so I don't know what's here and what ain't. But it's usually over where the juices and things like that are. You can buy them by the box, 100 of them in a box for like $3.50. Well, you can run, every week when you go on outreach, you can promote Popsicle Sunday off of $3.50. You promote that. You push that you come to our church, you get a popsicle. Man, I'm going to tell you something. There's just a few cents in each one of them popsicles. But them kids are going to be so thrilled that they're going to come get a popsicle. And you know what? You're not going to go get the church credit card to buy those 100 popsicles. Take out a $5 bill that you was going to spend somewhere silly and buy some popsicles out of your pocket. I am a strong advocate because I do it myself. I have the church credit card. I do not swipe that for things like that because I'm missing out on a blessing. And so, if you want to be part of the blessing plan of God, give, and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. That's not just emphasized in the offerings, and then you got to do that. Tithing, you got to do that. But there's so much more giving that we can do. And the blessings, the more you give, the more blessed you'll be. I've literally, since our bus ministry and Sunday school department has taken off, my income has tripled. Tripled. But you know what? I was doing a lot of this stuff on my own. I can never remember a time. If it has, it's been very minimal, that I've bought popsicles out of church money. That I've put gas in the vans out of church money. Because some of you coming from new churches, y'all are working in daughter works, you're working in home missions work. You're not going to have hundreds of thousands in the bank, and we won't have that either. But you're not going to have the availability. But you are blessed. And so, if you promote what you got going on, and you invest in it, eventually there's going to come a time that your department's going to grow. God will always finance the blessing. God will always finance the blessing. You think, I don't know how it can happen. If we get 100 kids, how am I going to buy 100 sausage and biscuits? You just get 100 kids first and watch God do it. It happens, I'm telling you. It happens. And never settle with a small mentality. Always think bigger than what it is. Man, think big. I can do this. It ain't going to hurt me to do this. I can, and invest and think big. It's fixing to explode. It's fixing to happen. And so we do popsicles. Another cheap way, and there's enough fundraisers that churches can do. Churches can do all kind of fundraisers. You come from a church and you ain't got but 20 people. Well, how are we going to? Cotton candy is some of the cheapest stuff you could ever buy. Cotton candy is dirt cheap. It don't take nothing to make it. We bought a cotton candy machine about 3 years ago, maybe. Man, we promote Cotton Candy Sunday like it's going out of style. Kids love cotton candy, and you ain't got no money in the cotton candy. I'm telling you, it's about as cheap as the popsicles. And you can make cotton candy by the bags. I'm telling you, you can make 200 bags of cotton candy, and you ain't spent no money at all. You're talking about a big outreach gathering at the park. You're talking about going into a big apartment complex and working outreach. I'm talking children's ministry on a shoestring budget. You got to do these things to have a children's ministry. You can go in and start passing out cotton candy. There's more where this came from. You come to church with me in the morning, and it ain't cost you hardly anything. You go out on a hot Saturday, working outreach, passing out frozen popsicles. There's more where these come from. And you got $5 in Saturday and $5 in Sunday, $10, and you brought in 50 kids to church. You can operate a successful Sunday school ministry on a shoestring budget. It can happen. I'm seeing it happen. I'm living proof. We've seen it in our church. Make little things big. One big prize, but everybody gets excited because they know they have a chance to win it. And some of you, I've talked about this a little bit in the class before. Some of you that wasn't in there. You'll have kids from all over the neighborhood that come try to win the water gun. It costs you $20 at Walmart, but 150 kids are going to want to come try to win it. Not every kid's going home with a water gun. Only one kid. But they know there's a possibility that I'm going to win the water gun. I put down prizes every Sunday. I do that on my pamphlets. We make up pamphlets and invites and flyers. I put down prizes every Sunday. That prize may be a blow pop. Or, but to a kid, that's still a prize. It don't matter if it's candy or if it's an Xbox 360. It's a prize. So whenever you're advertising, I promise you, they're still going to be happy when they go home. You're not lying to them because you're giving them a prize. Well, they may be thinking one thing and they're getting another, but they're still happy. When they get there, they're going to realize, man, this is awesome stuff going on here. And so, man, I had every intention. I had them on my desk to bring up some of the flyers and pamphlets that we've passed out and some of the stuff that I write on it. I mean, you would think that you was going and you was at Chuck E. Cheese and these kids have hit the jackpot on the little deal. I mean, you would think there's so much stuff that we're giving away, and really they much of nothing. I promise you, I've learned how to spend minimal because I've got my hands in so much stuff. You can buy a bag of Smarties. A bag of Smarties, a bunch of candy comes in Smarties. $1.50. There's what 30 Smartie packets in a. So you're running a church van. You got 15 kids in your van. They all get 2 things of Smarties apiece. You're out $2, $3. You can do these things and be successful in doing it if you're willing to get right here. This is the problem. People don't want to open their wallet. It's easier to open somebody else's wallet than it is your own. It's easy. I said this in some of my other classes today. Don't go ask your pastor for the church credit card to buy a $5 box of popsicles. Right? Invest in the kingdom. When you got this one invested and this one invested, you will end up having a system. I know that I get popsicles on Sunday. I get Jolly Ranchers on Sunday. I bring the cotton candy on Sunday. And everybody's spending $5 and $6 a piece. And ain't nobody going broke. Everybody's still eating. They got money to go eat after church on Sunday night. $5 and $6 here and there. And you're making a big difference in your children's ministry. I have every driver, with the exception of a few, put their own gas in their vans. Every one of them put it in there. You may not do that. Your church may provide it. That's awesome. But if somebody's willing to help, let the church use that money to put new lighting in your Sunday school class. You know what I mean? There's always something the church can spend the money on. So our van drivers do it. If they ain't got it that weekend, we've always told them, anytime, I thank you for your sacrifice. If you don't have the money, you don't want to do it. I mean, there's been times I've had people say, hey, I need the church to put gas in my van. We did it. But I would say 90% of them always put the money in to put their own gas in. I'm talking buses and vans and everything. However, we don't depend on one person. Everybody gets involved in the blessing. We'll have the monitor puts the gas in one week, the driver the next, and the other monitor the next. So you ain't got to put gas in but once, twice a month. So it's distributing the blessings. You're going to continue to be blessed if you're willing to invest. We have, I talked about this a little bit in the developing leaders. We have a breakfast team every Sunday. We feed anywhere from 200 to 300 kids, including our church kids. Now, right now, that sounded mind-blowing, didn't it? As far as the financing for this. Sounded mind-blowing. Oh my goodness, ain't no way. Couldn't do it. But what we had was we got 4 teams, and there's 4, 5, 6, 7 people on each team. And the more people on the team, the cheaper it's going to be. everybody on the team goes in, and I'm bringing the bacon, I'm bringing the sausage, I'm bringing the gravy. You only do this once a month, because the next team's got the next week. And then the next team's got the next week. And so, all together, individually, they might have spent $10, $15 once a month to fix breakfast. Then the next week, this team does it all over again. The next week, this team does it all over again. And back to the previous lesson, all you got to do is ask people. There's people who are willing and wants to do stuff like this, if you'll just ask them. And one of the biggest factors in burnout is one person doing everything.
Right.
I got to cook, I got to drive, I got to teach, I got to do this, got to do that. I ain't got no money, I ain't seeing my kids, I ain't seeing them. And you get burnt out, and you just stop it all. But if you will distribute through the church, there's always something for somebody to do. Just ask them. Just go up and say, hey, we're starting a breakfast team. I know you're a good cook. I've ate at your house before. Would you be willing to help? This is I've heard. Use me for an example. See, Brother Dwayne Uzzle taught us a class, and this is what he said. I know that you believe in the blessed plans of God. Would you be willing to try to do something like this? Or just introduce it to your church. Have your pastor to introduce it to your church or your Sunday school leader. Say, this is our goals this year. If you're interested in this, I'd like for you to participate. And so it don't cost a lot of people a lot of money. Stuff gets done pretty easy, pretty fast. Am I doing okay with time? Oh, yeah. Okay. Most of our teachers, and now I'm just telling you, is there any Sunday school teachers here? Anybody work in Sunday school? Several Sunday school teachers. Now, I don't want you to, because I don't know none of you guys. The only person I know is Brother Philip Booker, and I just met Brother Jonathan last night. So I don't really know you guys. I don't know what you do. I don't know how you do it. So I'm not picking on nobody because I don't know. But we look right here at these decorations. This is swimming noodles. This is black electrical tape and a piece of cardboard. All together, there may be $5 or $6 in this little decoration right here. This is going to be used probably for a quarter. I don't know if they do Power Hour or whatever they do here. Y'all do Power Hour?
Yeah, kids church.
Kids church. Okay. So how long will this decoration be?
1
here?
month.
1 month. Okay. $5 or $6. You got it. Let's just say 5, because swimming noodles are cheap. Electrical tape. One roll will do the whole thing. 5, 10, 15. There's probably one there. 20 bucks. All right. This here. It's newspaper.
All donated.
All donated. Awesome. There you go. Most people, there's guys in your city. There's people in your city that work for newspaper offices that will give you the excess. This is newspaper. This was donated. The paint. All together, this classroom is cool. You may have $100.
It's like about 90.
90 something in the whole classroom.
Glue was made out of, or the paste was made out of corn flour.
There you go. How many helpers do you have on Sunday? 10? $10 a piece. They decorated this whole room. Why let Brother, what's your name again?
Right.
Brother Ray. Why make Brother Ray pay the whole 90? Why charge the church?
Right.
We're operating on a shoestring budget. Who can afford $10 for a month? You follow? Everybody catching on what I'm saying?
Yeah.
$10 from everybody in the class for a month. Hey, we're going to let the church continue to roll on. We're going to be blessed. Hey, let's get together. The teachers come in. They buy. It happens in my wife, the only thing our church buys for our classrooms is the curriculums. We buy the curriculums, the books, things like that. Other than that, object lessons, everything else is bought by the teachers. Why not be a part of God's blessing plan? You will be blessed if you invest in the kingdom of God. Things ain't real expensive. We have seen, for example, you can take things probably a lot of you have in your backyard. There's things that there is pieces of wood that can make a cross that you probably have propped up against your back door. Why go to Lowe's and spend $50 on wood? when you can ask. Asking will get you a lot. Most of you guys probably have a place in your service. Usually ours is at the end. We always say, anything else to be said before we dismiss? That's where we always do that. And as long as it ain't a nutcase, we'll let them stand up and say, I want you this week to remember so-and-so, they need prayer. All right, at that point, it happens all the time. Anybody here that has any excess lumber, we're needing to build a cross. We've got a cross that we're trying to build for a drama that we're doing. Does anybody have any excess lumber? Before you know it, you're going to have 10 people come up to you after church. Man, I got a stack full of lumber. Y'all welcome to use any of it you want to use. And you'll realize a lot of these props will come because if you ask him. If you never ask, you'll never get. And so, all right, you need, what's something that we may need? Does anybody have a popcorn maker? Popcorn, that's another cheap way of, popcorn's really, really cheap. We have a popcorn machine at our church. So popcorn, we have Popcorn Sunday. We make little things big. Popcorn, I'm glad I said that because I forgot to write that down. Popcorn Sunday, very cheap. Don't cost much at all. Make it big. Everybody gets a bag of popcorn. Smell it all to your church. But Popcorn Sunday, we do that. But you have, anybody have a popcorn machine? Most of the time, somebody's going to have something like that. Man, I've had one out in my attic, or up my attic for a long time. We used to use it back when so-and-so and so-and-so. They'll bring it to church. Before you know it, you're making popcorn for the kids. Does anybody have I'm needing a set of skis. We're doing a lesson on, or we're doing, our theme this year is Winter Wonderland. And I want some skis to hang on the wall. You ask, somebody in your church is going to have a set of skis. Might be water skis, but it's going to look good. The kids are going to be excited about it. Does anybody have a doctor's kit? It's going to be medical themed this year. We've had them come in, it looks like a hospital room. People will have what you need, and you ain't got to go buy it. We're operating on a shoestring budget. How much time do I have? Somebody that way I don't know. 20 more minutes? 15 minutes. Okay. We're operating on a shoestring budget. So whatever your theme is, there's probably somebody in your church that is part of that profession. We've had law enforcement. We've had teachers come in dressed in law enforcement clothing. We've had nursing. We've had teachers come in dressed up like nurses. We've had all these things. We've got teachers that dress the part. And even if they're not teachers, they have the means to provide for our teachers so that they can look that way. And so instead of going to a Halloween store and buying 15 costumes, ask your church. There's people that probably have this stuff. Man, I'm needing somebody to dress up like a firefighter. There's probably no volunteer firefighter in everybody's church. You know, you ask around. They probably got some old fire gear. They got some hats, some boots. You can dress your class up. They'll have a good time, and it ain't cost anything. While we're talking of that, you're wanting excitement in your church. There is people in your community that will come and volunteer their time for something neat. We had one of our classes was on Crime Stoppers. Anybody use Crime Stoppers with Power Hour? I think it was Crime Stoppers. A few years ago. And what they had was they had a canine officer in town to bring his dog into Sunday school. Those kids loved it. Brought his dog in there. He went to teenage class and hit 3 times. No, I'm kidding. That's the kind of revival we're having. I need to be good. This stuff is on video. But that's revival. That's what it looks like. You pray for rain, you got to deal with mud, right? But he brought it down there. Didn't cost anything but a call. Didn't even cost for a call. He come down there, brought his dog. The kids had a blast. There is little things like this that can happen in your Sunday school department that don't cost you anything. You say, well, I want excitement in my class. How can I can't afford to buy jumpies. I can't afford to buy jump houses. I can't afford to have blow. Well, here's the deal. Songs like we sung this morning, you don't need a jump house to jump up and down and have fun. Create a jump house without having a jump house. You follow what I'm saying? Right. You may not have the finances to go buy the blow-ups and the jumpies, But if you decorate yourself up and you look cool and you look exciting and you're out there dancing with them, they'd rather be dancing with you than jumping all day long. And so you can make. I know that we did it a couple times. We did black lights in our church. Black lights don't cost much at all, especially if you're operating in a Sunday school room. All you need is 2 or 3, maybe 1, depending on the size of your. Well, you can get glow-in-the-dark duct tape and black clothing. Don't cost anything. We're operating on a shoestring budget. For $5, you can make yourself a costume that looks like a stick man. Has anybody ever seen that done before? It's really cool. You can put glow-in-the-dark duct tape all over you. Glow-in-the-dark duct tape down your legs, down your feet. You can put it on. We've had light up stuff in people's hair. Well, they turn on some loud James Wayne music, and we're dancing to it. The kids are dancing to it. It's loud. It's exciting. It's popping. It don't cost nothing. A duct tape and a black light. And so you say, well, I can't afford to buy, a $1,000 jump house. Well, you don't need a jump house to have an exciting Sunday school. We've got one. I love it. It's a great, it appeals to kids. If you can afford it, get one. Get on Craigslist. You can find them cheap. But there is things that we can do to improvise and make an exciting class without spending tons of money. You say, well, I don't, I'm working in a home missions church. I don't have all the right props. I don't have all the right things. Your excitement level and the way you tell the story is going to determine how good the story is to them kids and how much they get it. You can buy $10,000 worth of props, and if you tell the story like Monotone Mary, it ain't happening. And so, if you want to create an excitement level, it's all. For example, if I was your teacher today, David killed Goliath, and he did it with 3 smooth stones, or it only took him 1 stone. He went and gathered, and all this talk, and you're just very monotone, and that kid could care less. But if you grabbed, I've got little girls. I'm seeing it now because I'm thinking, I'm in kid men mode. I could grab one of my daughter's old leather purses that she puts Barbies in, and I could make me a pouch. And I could grab a baptistry robe, put it over, tie me a belt around it, and I could come out there and I could grab me an old piece of leather that used to be on my boots, and I could swing it around. David went out that day and he was looking at that giant, and all of a sudden the giant, he began to swing it. You ain't got thousands of dollars worth of props. You took stuff you had at your house, and he hit the guy, bam, he's on the ground. And all of a sudden your story, they're so into your story, and you haven't did anything but get an old purse from your daughter's room, a baptistry robe with a belt around it, and maybe take one of your wife's scarves and tie it around your head. Make yourself look. If you don't know how Bible characters look, nobody really knows how they look. You just make it up. I've seen pictures of Jesus. I've seen him with a short beard, long hair, short hair. Don't nobody know how he looked. I've seen all kind of stuff that tried to portray Jesus. I've seen John look rugged. He looked mean. He had the rough looking out, and then I've seen him and he looked clean cut and nice. Nobody knows, and them kids sure don't know. So just dress up, be different. They know he didn't look like you do now. So I'm all about dressing the part. That don't cost much to dress the part. You can take, I was talking about Crime Stoppers a while ago. Go to your local law enforcement office, they'll donate some stuff. Take you a blue shirt, make you some little patches to put on the sleeve. Make you, little cardboard name tags. This is stuff you can do at home. You ain't out no money, and the kids are getting it. Now, if you come from a larger church where some stuff is more accessible, then you can buy these things. But if you don't, I'm talking about operating on a shoestring budget. You can make this stuff. I promise you, if you have anybody in your church that has a creative mind, you give them a piece of 50-cent poster board, They can make badges for everybody in the class, for your Crime Stopper class. They can make wanted posters for everybody in the class. And all it costs them is 2 sheets for $1 and a marker, a few coloring pencils. It ain't how much things cost. It's how much time you put into what you have. It's how much time you put into what you have. I didn't even cover it. I had it in some of my lessons today, and I'm kind of a shotgun kind of guy. I've got notes, and I look over a little bit of them, and I just talk. I'm one of them. Brother Booker said it earlier today. One thing that gets under my skin so fast as a teacher, and they're prepping for her class, and it's Sunday morning. You know when Sunday school prep should be? Monday morning. You start thinking. You read your lesson. Find out what it takes. You go through that week. It's going to be hard to find all. You know, if you're working on a shoestring budget, you're trying to find stuff, and it's Saturday night at 8 o'clock. It's going to be hard to get everything you need. But if you start on Monday, you can, hey, Wednesday night at church, anybody, I'm needing a fire helmet by Sunday. Does anybody have a fire helmet? Does anybody have, I need 10 water hoses. Anybody letting me borrow 10 water hoses? I need this by, we're going to connect them, we're going to do, you know, whatever it is. Asking can get you a lot. But present it to the church. It hasn't cost you anything. But if you're preparing on Monday, then you'll have it by Sunday. The problem we have is the reason we are lacking, I'm saying we because I've experienced it. The reason we have no object lessons, the reason we're not dressing the part, the reason we come in and we look the exact way we looked the Sunday before is because we're trying to get this stuff together at 8 o'clock Saturday night. It's impossible to do it. What are we going to do? A group church call? Anybody that has a fire helmet, please bring it in the morning. It's not going to work. But that's because you're not preparing. You're not preparing for your lessons. And so if you begin to study, you study, find out what you need. Throughout the week, you can find coworkers. You can find, there's going to be coworkers that will help you. Tell them what you're using it for. There's coworkers. There is family. There's friends. Whatever your theme is, you can find people that has something that ties into your theme that can make you have a cool looking Sunday school class, a cool, bus thing, whatever it is. And you can tie it all in, and it hadn't cost you a dime. I've got about 4.5 minutes. Any questions? I haven't did questions and answers today. And this one, I like to do this, and I just haven't got to do it. Any questions, answers? Nobody? Yes, sir.
I'll just make a comment. A few years ago, you talked about making things big. This thought stays in mind. We had Brother Kit Baglin do a Sunday school thing for us. And he said, if you have a promotion, you tell the kids, he said he's seen a lot of churches will do this. They'll say, hey, you bring your parents, we'll give you a point. And I'll never forget how he did. He goes, no, give them 10,000 points. Points are free.
That's it, yeah.
It's our mindset.
That's exactly right.
You just got to get out. And then the other thing is, don't be afraid to give people, I don't like to do it, but somebody will, is ask companies around, Starbucks, whatever, to donate stuff. And I'm telling you,
it works every time. That's something I should have covered. I get in certain gears. That's something. Ask your local grocery stores. Tell them what you're doing. You will find, we've had stuff donated. I'm talking so much. Just this week, we had cotton candy donated. We had, there was all kinds of crazy stuff that got donated just this week. When people see what you're doing in your communities, they see your buses, you see them active, go to places. I like to go to places where they know about us a little bit, places you do business at. You know the managers, hey, if y'all can ever help us, we're feeding 150 kids every Sunday. We're doing this, and this. Please keep us in mind. You'll realize some of them it's tax write-off, and they'll just donate a ton just for a tax write-off. I'm glad you brought that up because that's very, very true.
Bakeries, they're really good at donating. We had a bakery that would give us all their cookies. They're 1 day old. Nothing wrong with them. Hundreds of them. Panera Bread gives San Jose Church all their food for every Sunday morning. They don't have to pay for any of it.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Another thing is cardboard. Goes a long.
Cardboard, and you can get it at a grocery store. They don't
I
give
get
you
it from my
cardboard.
work. They donated just as much as I need.
Cardboard, free. You go to grocery stores, Walmart, places like that, ask for it. They say, well, we got boxes. Take them apart. That's cardboard. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So it goes a long ways. I've seen my wife is actually, My wife is actually our Sunday school superintendent. I'm kind of the bad guy. You know what I mean? I got to do housekeeping. You know what I mean? But she's actually the Sunday school superintendent. And so, in doing that, her big deal is building stuff, creating stuff, making it look magical, awesome, cool when you walk in. And I've seen her take what I would have never. Right now, I don't know if it's this theme or not. I've seen her. They made a bridge. No, it was the last theme. They made a bridge in their class out of pallets. Pallets are free. They made a bridge, and it was like a walking bridge. Man, it looked so cool. They had a couple boards, and it was a guy in the church made them, had ropes onto them boards. Well, man, they made it looked like you could ready to go fishing. And it was made out of pallets, had a big T-like bridge coming out. It looked amazing. They made, because the pallets was donated, they may have had $5 or $6. So, use your mind. Be creative in your mind. Always think. I mean, and when you're doing kids ministry, you always kind of have that in you anyways. You're always thinking, what could I make? I mean, you look at these blue trash bags. What's something that you can make out of that trash bag? Scrubs. We can make scrubs out of that trash bag for a medical thing. You can improvise for scrubs. Are we done?
No, you're good. You're still 1 minute.
All right, we're looking at scrubs. Blue trash bags. I mean, just think. That's something you'd have to cut it out and make it look right. Make you a set of scrubs. You're teaching about medical. Anything. I mean, you can look around. You can always, if you're willing to think outside the box and not always think in your wallet, well, if I could buy some scrubs, we could really have a fun Sunday school department.
Yeah.
There's blue trash bags. You can make everybody in the room a set of scrubs. You know, it's neat. I've seen them Thanksgiving time. They come out and they're dressed up like pilgrims. They're dressed up like Indians. And it didn't cost nothing but paper sacks at the grocery store that was donated. Another thing of donations. Donated. Cut the little slats in them. Make it look like a little Indian dress. Free. Don't cost a thing. Improvise. Make it happen. We are blessed to be a blessing.
Yeah.
Always remember that. God has blessed you so that you can bless the things of God, the people of God, and the kingdom of God.